Hey there, Dr. Gimler here to talk about sleep hygiene, part 2. So now we're going to talk about what we need to do at night to get a good night's sleep. I like to make the distinction between our sleep time and our bedtime. So our sleep time is when we actually want to be asleep, like in bed, eyes closed, unconscious, asleep, versus our bedtime, which is when we need to get ready for bed. So to set your sleep time, think about when you need to be awake in the morning. For me, that would be 6 a.m. We're going to subtract with how long we want to sleep for. I want to sleep for 8 hours, so subtract 8 hours. That means I need to be asleep by 10 p.m. That's my sleep time. Now I'm going to subtract 1 hour from that. 9 p.m. is my bedtime. That's when I'm going to stop my activities for the day and start getting ready for bed. So at our bedtime, most experts are going to recommend that you avoid screen time for 1 hour before bed. You've probably all heard a million times that the blue light from your screens, whether it's a phone or a laptop or a TV or a tablet, that blue light tends to stimulate your brain. You produce more dopamine, which is antagonistic to sleep and melatonin production. So put the screens away. I put my phone on do not disturb, so I'm not getting notifications with text messages or social media or anything. Usually there's an exception. You can put certain callers that are allowed to get through, or if people call you twice, then it's probably an emergency and that gets through. So look on your phone, set the do not disturb. You can, set it so that every time at your bedtime, your phone goes on to do not disturb. My iPhone has like a bedtime, routine. So even if it's 9:15 and I go to unlock my phone, it says, "I hope you're having a good night's sleep," and you have to press an extra button even to unlock your phone. So just kind of that little extra barrier to make me think, do I really need to be cruising my phone right now? It is my bedtime. Okay, you also want to have a wind down routine. So that's kind of a routine that you do every night to give yourself that Pavlovian response that, oh, when I'm doing this, it tells your body that it's time to go to bed soon. So that could be, brushing your teeth, washing your face, doing your various night creams and skincare routine. Smell is such a strong response with your brain that the smell of the certain night cream that you use every night can be a good indicator to your brain that sleep is coming soon. You want to have your room be dim, quiet, and cool. Usually cool temperatures are better for sleeping than hot. Once you get into bed, I do like to read, but I think it's important for me that I don't read something that's too interesting. It doesn't want to be like a young adult fantasy fiction, that's like a page turner and I can't put it down. In bed when I'm trying to fall asleep is usually when I read my, nonfiction, personal development, scientific books, things like that are interesting, but like not exactly a page turner. So after 10 pages or so, I start to feel tired and I can shut the book and go to sleep. I try to read a paper book, so I'm not getting the screen, the light from something like an iPad. Something my therapist had me do when I was having a hard time falling asleep before, if you have a lot of like racing thoughts that you try to go to sleep but then your brain just keeps going, is to have a journal and to just free form, like stream of consciousness, write that stuff out. Because a lot of times if you just get it out of your head and onto paper, then those thoughts can kind of just go to bed. Some people like to take melatonin about an hour and a half before bedtime. And even though I've heard concerns that it doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier when you take it orally, there are studies that show that it helps with sleep. So, okay, that's all the things to do for bedtime. Now if we're talking about the sleep time, the time when we actually want to close our eyes and go to sleep, I tend to either read or write until my eyes get heavy. You can kind of feel it when your eyes are getting tired around the edges. And then, if you're tired enough, just turn out the light, close your eyes, fall asleep. If you need a little extra help, if I'm having a hard time falling asleep, I will use Bluetooth headband headphones. So they're nice and soft and they just wrap around like this so you can sleep with them. And I listen to the Sleep With Me podcast, which is like a really boring guy telling a long story. There's a few podcasts like that meant for falling asleep, or different sleep noises like ambient noise. I hope that's helpful to help you fall asleep at night. Sleep hygiene is super important because, like we've talked about in previous videos, getting adequate sleep is super important for your mental health. So comment below if you have any thoughts or questions, and I hope you guys get a good night's sleep tonight.